We were this close to finishing with another green week for Shiba Inu. And unfortunately didn't happen, but we have started off on a green note this week. And I want to talk about a few pieces of news that have popped up showing that right now, even as people are being fearful, we are accelerating into this next stage of the crypto market. Do also want to talk about over 4 trillion SHIB that was on the move. What exactly happened with this? We'll discuss all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now, it's about 7:10 a.m. Central Standard Time. U.S. money is starting to wake up for the day. And there's been some announcements. This is some news that usually drops to crypto markets. So I'm very curious to see what happens following this. This just hit. But right now we are green for SHIB. We're up over 2%. We keep fighting this 20-day moving average. We're nestling again, guys, into a range where there is very thick liquidity below here, huge demand for SHIB, and where the 20-day moving average is at some point, I think, going to give. And last time we saw this take place where we had this huge compression, remember, was back here, right? Actually, there was 2 zones, technically just above here, and then obviously down in this fire sale range too. Eventually, we hit a point of just way too much demand, and we accelerated out of this, right? So I think at some point, we are probably going to see that take place for Shiba Inu. BTC right now is over 92K, looking pretty strong. It's above its 20-day moving average. Would love to see BTC, again, get back up to this 382 level, test that, breach that, and then we might see a lot more fun in the crypto market. Right now, we are, in fact, on the verge of seeing a potential USDT breakdown. We're seeing altcoin dominance stay still pretty strong here. We're not seeing much in terms of changes there. And I talk about this in a later video, so you guys check that out. I think that's coming at about 3:30 Central Standard Time. But let's talk about the big news this morning, because what we actually saw is Strategy bought another 10,624 BTC worth $962 million. This is a massive buy. This is one of their largest buys we have seen in recent term. And what it's showing you is that, guess what? These large entities are loving the discounts. They're taking advantage of every opportunity that they can. Now, here's another big piece of news. Metaplanet CEO is rolling out Mars, a strategy-style product designed to acquire more BTC. So you're seeing these Bitcoin treasury companies, you're watching enterprises trying to figure out whatever way they can to just continue to buy and buy and buy in the crypto market. And maybe that leads us to a bad point eventually where there's, so much insane outstanding leverage, whether secured or unsecured, that eventually the market decides to come down. But this could also be the exact thing that accelerates us into a big time of adoption for the space. And people aren't really connecting this, right? If retail is stuck cowering on the sidelines and complaining and thinking that we're headed into a bear market cycle, but all these large entities do is just buy and buy and buy, well, eventually retail gets left behind. That is where things could get pretty exciting in the crypto market. Now, there was a big Shiba Inu shift just the other day. In fact, we saw 4 trillion SHIB. That's 4 trillion, right? Yeah, 4 trillion SHIB actually moved off of Coinbase. So obviously we had the big inflow day that took place the other day, over 900 billion SHIB. Apparently it didn't really matter because we saw over 4 trillion SHIB leave exchanges. Now, some of this must have gone back to exchanges, because if we actually look at this exchange, or if we actually look at the reserves available on exchanges, both of these blips are not in here, right? Even our day where we surged by 900 billion, where we saw a bunch of SHIB go back to exchanges, it came back out. All right, because we're pretty much flat. We're pretty much continuing to set new all-time lows in terms of exchange supply. And that, again, continues to lead us to a very strong point. Holders have stabilized. Exchange supply continues to drop. SHIB price is stabilized. We're sitting on strong support. I mean, all these things are looking very good right now. And all we really need to do is just get the market into gear, kick the PTSD, and I think we're prepping for a pretty exciting run. Now, big thing I will say again is Wednesday, guys. Wednesday is the conclusion of the FOMC meeting. I'm going to say this like almost every single video, almost every single day of the week, because this is a pivotal moment for the market. If we get a rate cut, That's a very good thing. Again, that eases a lot of concerns. Some people are still concerned that we're not getting an interest rate decrease. January is another big question now, which we will talk about that obviously after we find out what takes place here. If we don't get a cut, we're going to get a cut in January. If we do get a cut, there are questions about January. But that's the big thing for the week. We'll see how we progress. Hopefully the market stays a little bit tempered heading into that. I don't want to rally before and then obviously get a drop right at the time of, because then it's possible we set lower lows and that's not fun for anyone. So I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.